Adventurous kids explore with education and learning what a wildlife is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovery Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
Today I'm going to tell you about ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt was one of the greatest and most powerful civilizations in the history of the world. It lasted for over 3,000 years, from 3150 BC to 30 BC. The civilization of ancient Egypt was located along the Nile River in northeast Africa. People have lived along the banks of the Nile River for at least 10,000 years. The narrow valley of the Nile was once swampy and overgrown with trees, bushes, and papyrus, a tall reed-like plant. Over the centuries, the landscape changed as the river brought down fertile silt to form a broad delta at the river's mouth. The people gradually cleared the swamps and built villages. They learned to plant and grow crops. Eventually, they organized two kingdoms. Upper Egypt was in the narrow river valley in the south. Lower Egypt was in the north, in the broad delta, where the river flows into the sea. In about 2900 BCE, a king named Menes united the two parts of Egypt. Menes built the capital city of Memphis. The site of Memphis is near Cairo, the capital of modern Egypt. After Menes, many kings called pharaohs ruled ancient Egypt. During the long history, there were more than 30 dynasties or ruling families of pharaohs. Historians have grouped several of these dynasties into three important periods: the Old Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. The times between the kingdoms are called intermediate periods. The Old Kingdom lasted from 2575 to 2130 BCE. It was during this period that the Egyptians built their Great Pyramids. The best known remains in Egypt are the three pyramids of Giza. The pharaohs of Egypt were often buried in giant pyramids or in secret tombs. They believed that they needed treasure to be buried with them to help them in the afterlife. As a result, archaeologists have a lot of well-preserved artifacts and tombs to examine in order to find out how the ancient Egyptians lived. Near the second pyramid, partially cut in a rock and partially built of masonry, is the Great Sphinx. The Sphinx has the facial features of a man, but the body of a lion. It is 241 feet long, 20 feet wide, and 66 feet high. Archaeologists believe that it was carved around 2500 BC and that the head is meant to be a likeness of the pharaoh Khafra. No one is entirely sure exactly how the nose got knocked off. After the first intermediate period, the Middle Kingdom began. It lasted until 1630 BCE. In the Middle Kingdom, Egyptian rule was extended into the neighboring country Anaburia, modern Sudan, and into Syria and Palestine. The capital was moved south to Thebes, far up the Nile in Upper Egypt. This was a period of great art and architecture, but few buildings from this period survive today. A second period of weakness followed the Middle Kingdom. The New Kingdom began in 1069 BCE and lasted until 1075 BCE. A mighty pharaoh of the New Kingdom was Thutmose III, who ruled from 1479 to 1426 BCE. Thutmose's reign was the time of ancient Egypt's greatest power and wealth. Thutmose conquered Syria. He also ordered the building of many tombs and temples. These included the Great Tombs, hollowed out in the rock of the Valley of the Kings, west of Thebes. King Tut's tomb and his treasures were found in the Valley of the Kings. The ancient Egyptian Empire began to weaken at about 700 BC. It was conquered by a number of other civilizations. The first to conquer Egypt was the Assyrian Empire, about 100 or so years later by the Persian Empire. In 332 BC, Alexander the Great of Greece conquered Egypt and set up his own ruling family. Finally, the Romans came in 30 BC and Egypt became a province of Rome. Finally, in 600 CE, Muslim Arabs took over Egypt. Egypt is still a Muslim country today. Ancient Egypt was rich in culture including government, religion, arts, and writing. The government and religion were tied together, as the leader of the government, the pharaoh, was also leader of the religion. Writing was also important in keeping the government running. Only scribes could read and write. They were considered powerful people. The ancient Egyptians were scientists and mathematicians. They had numerous inventions, including ways to build things, medicine, cosmetics, the calendar, the plow for farming, musical instruments, and even toothpaste. Egyptian men and women wore makeup. It was thought to have healing powers, but it helped protect their skin from the sun. Cats were considered sacred in ancient Egypt. Egyptians believed cats were magical creatures capable of bringing good luck to the people who housed them. To honor these treasured pets, wealthy families dressed them in jewels and fed them treats fit for royalty. When the cats died, they were mummified. The word hieroglyph literally means sacred carvings. The Egyptians first used hieroglyphs exclusively in inscriptions carved or painted on temple walls. This form of pictorial writing was also used on tombs, sheets of papyrus, wooden boards covered with a sartigo wash, post sherds, and fragments of limestone. The ancient Egyptian language used more than 3,100 hieroglyphs. It can be found pretty much everywhere in ancient Egypt. Thanks for watching this Adventurous Kids episode.
What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
Yeah!